Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Tuesday, November 8th, and you can see across southeast lower Michigan we have the best opportunity to pick up some showers today. Looks like about anywhere from around 500 to up to possibly a quarter of an inch, and that would be for areas down near Monroe and Dundee, Adrian, Blissfield, Jasper, those areas. Again, much of the MAC area may only see a few hundredths of an inch. We got a line of showers that's going to be moving into the state here within the next hour or so, and they'll work their way from west to southeast across the area. And again, these will weaken this morning, tried to redevelop during the early afternoon hours just in time to clip parts of the eastern part of the state. Also a reminder, today is election day, so get out there and vote. If we look at the normals for the day, our normal high is 49, the normal low now down to 32 for the first time. And in this date, back in 1921, we had about half a foot of snow, so anything is possible this time of year, although we certainly don't see that coming up anytime soon. If we look at the warmest and lowest temperatures across the lower 48 yesterday, the highest temperature was at McAllen, Texas at 92, and the normally cold spot there at Mount Washington, New Hampshire, down to 12 degrees. If we look at the area conditions around yesterday, you can see temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 60s across much of the area. Lansing, high temperature of 68. Down at Newaygo, it got down to 36 degrees at that low elevation. That's our ice box of MAC. If we look at the current conditions across the state and MAC area this morning, you can see very mild temperatures up around the upper 40s to around 50. A little bit cooler across the eastern part of the state. We got a southerly flow now increasing across the west out ahead of that cold front. If we look at the lower level winds at the 6 meters, or rather at the 2 meter, you can see the convergence where this cold front is. And again, that's what's going to touch off some of the showers again across the area today. But again, it should be on the light side overall. If we look at the satellite view, you can see where that cold front is slicing in through Wisconsin right now. And again, this will only be about a 2 to maybe 5 hour window for the opportunity of showers. And again, at any given location, we do not expect a lot of precipitation. If we look at the radar map out there, though, you can see a pretty nice, well-defined line of showers moving across the central portions and eastern portions of Wisconsin into the UP. And again, that whole area will be shifting off to the east today, and by tonight it'll be out of the area as we see clouds early break up, and that'll allow our temperatures to drop off pretty good. You can see on the surface map that low pressure system in Oklahoma. Again, it's going to be moving up the front with some of this moisture, but that'll be well off to our east by the time that low pressure would be able to give us more precipitation than what we expect. So everything we're going to get is going to be just from the cold front. And by tomorrow, you can see that front has swept all the way off to the east coast. High pressures will move into the center part of the nation. That's going to dominate our weather right on through the weekend. So it looks like another decent stretch of weather. And you can see on the weather map for Thursday, this next front's going to move through. It's going to be very dry, but it is going to have some pretty cool air behind it. We expect temperatures Friday into the weekend only to be in the 40s and 50s. Again, so we're certainly stepping down a little bit, but we don't see any mighty cold air just yet. But the pattern is setting up that I think that could happen. But again, not for at least another 10 days. As far as precipitation today, you can see the heaviest amounts down here in southeast lower Michigan over and into Ontario, with parts of the Breckenridge, Middleton area, maybe even not even seeing any precipitation. I don't think that will be the case, although there is very good agreement with the European model where the heaviest precipitation falls and where very little precipitation falls. So confidence is pretty high that much of mid-Michigan should see very little in the way of rainfall, so we may not even slow down the soybean harvest, and certainly the corn harvest is going to continue to rock and roll. As far as the snowpack that we're looking at that would help deliver the cold air, this is what it looked like last week. You can actually see we've actually lost a lot of that snowpack in southern Canada, and until we see that really begin to sink southward, it's going to be hard to get some really cold air into the lower 48. But we do see some signs that that's going to happen, and I think over the next week, we'll look back at this early next week, and I think you're going to see a lot more snow cover in parts of Ontario, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan, but we'll see how that works out. As far as the latest Southern Oscillation Index, you can see 2.8, which is a little bit positive above the 30-day base state, so that certainly isn't nothing exciting, kind of like getting an 8th place ribbon. What do you do with that? If we look at the temperature profile here over the next 6 to 10 days, you can see above normal precipitate or temperatures across much of the U.S. 8 to 14 day outlook, very similar. As far as precipitation, we're going to start off dry, but as we get later towards the end of next week, that could be the beginning, I think, of what could be a pattern change as we begin to see a more active pattern develop across the northern states, and it could be signs that we may eventually turn this pattern around and head towards a colder and perhaps a little bit snowier pattern as we get towards the 15th to the 20th of November. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.